Hello guys, what's going on? It's me Zap, and I'm bringing you a video of the Battlefield 3 on my new PC which I built, which is the i5-3570k, and I've got the MSI Radeon HD 7870 Hawk, which is just an overclocking beast. Even though it's been giving me trouble overclocking your GPU, especially with high clocks. I had it pushing 1300 on the core and like 1450 on the memory. But I was pushing a lot of voltage, and I had it, and I started pricking with it again, and lost where I was, and couldn't remember the voltage, and it just made me mad. So I quit fooling with it. But I was looking at like 1300 on the core, like I said, and 1450 on the memory, which is 300 on the core extra and 250 on the memory, or yeah, something like that, or 350 on the memory. I'm not for sure, but that's a huge overclock, like 25-30%. And I had the voltage up pretty high on both of them. I had like 1.27 volt, or sorry, 1.7 volts, I think, or not 1.7, but a lot. I had a lot of voltage, like 1.27 volts, 1.3, something like that, running to the GPU, and then 1.7, I think, on the memory. But then I started messing with it again and got some B-sides, so I quit fooling around with it. And just doing like the intro here to the Battlefield 3 and stuff, and just show you what this mid-range card can handle. It's $269. Yeah, you can buy 7870, like the gigahertz edition, for like $219. But I'm a real big fan of MSI. I love everything they do. I love their cards, and I really wanted the Hawk just so I could, see how far I could push it. So I want to show you what I'm playing on here, using 1920, all that good. And got everything set to ultra except for the anti-aliasing deferred, and I got it off. And I've got the filter to 4x, and everything else is pretty much as high as it'll go. So I mean, and we're talking about 60 frames minus. Well, usually it's running about 55, and then during explosions it'll drop to about 45. So it's really not that bad for a $260 card. So let's get in here and see what we can do right now. I mean, it's kind of sluggy because it's running at 30, and this game is definitely made to be running at 60. So a big thing that would help though is I had to RMA my RAM. I had 1866. I had 16 gigs of it with a cast latency of like 9. It was really good RAM. I paid $100 for 16 gigs and had to RMA it, which kind of made me sad. So I'm just using like a spare 4 gig kit that I had laying around. And I went the wrong way. I always do it. It's been a long time since I played the campaign on here. But like I said though, I'm pushing like 13 and 14. So I mean, it's 100 on each of them, 100 megahertz extra.
I don't like this shit.
Which is pretty good. And that dude just got shot in the face. I mean, as you can tell though, it looks gorgeous. I know this game it came out last year or whatever, but it's still the game that all CPUs and GPUs are based off of. This is like this, Metro 2033, and Skyrim. It used to be Crysis. Crysis 2 is real big on benchmarks. So, but now it's all about these guys are everywhere. Throw a grenade at them. But this is one of the games that all CPU hardware is pretty much determined by is this. I'm, like I said, running the 3570k. Got it at 4.3 gigahertz. As y'all know, it gets extremely hot when you start putting voltage to it. And I am using an H80, and it's got to the point to where I was having to put too much voltage to it to get any higher. And the temps were getting higher than what I wanted. I like to stay around 55 to 60 degrees on my CPU just because I guess it's just me being paranoid or whatever. But this might not be a system that I keep. I might actually end up selling it. I'm going to do some case mods. I'm just, trying to get everything checked out. Do some benchmarks for y'all, stuff like that, giving some games. I already done Far Cry 3 and stuff. Just in case somebody else was wanting to build a build just like this. I mean, I got like $1,300 in it. And I'm gonna mod the case. My mom's boyfriend actually owns like a glass shop. I'm gonna put an acrylic window in it and stuff. It's a half 912 case, which does not come with an acrylic window, so it should be, you know, one of a kind or close to one of a kind unless somebody else has done it. So, like I said, I used a lot of high-end parts in it. Got an ASRock motherboard. I love ASRock. I think you get the best bang for your buck whenever you buy a motherboard from them. It comes with so much stuff for the price that you pay. Really, I mean, nobody else can compete. The quality's good, the features are nice, and it's a subsidiary of Asus. So, can't really go wrong. I always use G-Skill RAM. That's just what I've had the most comfort with, is G-Skill. Corsair also makes, you know, really good RAM, along with Kingston. I like Kingston and Corsair both. As far as SSD goes, I mean, you talking, I use Samsung just because of, when you talk SSDs, you know, you talking Samsung and Intel's leading the pack when it comes to performance and reliability. Just Samsung and Intel are just way ahead of everybody else. Kingston's catching up, you know, so is OCZ. I'm using an OCZ power supply, 600 watt OCZ Mod Extreme, whatever. It's more than enough for this system, even when overclocking. And I got the H80 cooler, like I said, you know, so it, I mean, the system doesn't get real loud. The video card does once you start overclocking it. But I mean, on the CPU though, like I said, I keep it around 50 degrees, and right there is with the fans turned down low. Well, they're, I think they're on the medium setting or whatever.
Get up on that roof.
But it stays pretty quiet. I'm trying to think of what else. I got a 1 terabyte blue drive in here. I've already went over this in my other video. I just really wanted to go over how it does with the battlefields. So,
anyone got eyes on?
yeah, that's how you
Can't see him.
get ready to blow this guy up.
That's a fucking 50. Stay low. Stay low.
I mean, the game's just flat gorgeous. Like, I was running a 6950 before this, and this thing just absolutely blows the 6950 out of the water.
Let's go.
And everything it does. I mean, it's quieter, it uses less power, it doesn't get as hot.
Okay, moving.
And, you know, everybody says that going from Ivy Bridge, or from Sandy Bridge to Ivy Bridge is what I done. I did it. And that's just because I sold my system and I had my 2500K in. It did overclock better though. I had that thing ran at 4.5 gigahertz at like 55 degrees Celsius on a Hyper 212. I didn't have to add any voltage to it whatsoever. And it could just been that I got a great chip. But running a 4.5 gigahertz Sandy Bridge 2500K is like running a 4.2 or 4.1 on an Ivy Bridge. There's about a 10 to 15% performance increase from the two. I mean, it's not huge. Is it marginable enough to, you know, build a whole new system? No, it's not. But I wanted to build a new system. I like to build computers, and you know, and I'll end up selling this one just so I can probably build another one. I'll probably go cheaper this time because I do have to pay for some college.
50 meters midway up.
So,
Give it to Black. Shit,
getting ready to blow this guy up. And unfortunately, college comes before gaming. Even though I don't want to give it up, I might have to and get like an AMD build.
Brother. I'll cover you, and you hit him.
These guys are getting ready to jump up here,
Stand by. 3, 2,
and I'm gonna blow this guy up.
Suppress it!
Boom! I got it.
Good effect on target. We good?
So as you can see, it runs really good. Didn't have a whole lot of frame drop, and it's quiet, and it doesn't run very hot. So if y'all are looking for a build like this, more power to you. It's a great build, especially for $1,200–1,300. Even if you didn't want to get the 240 gig SSD like I did, you know, you could probably save you a couple $100. You know, if you're cool with the mechanical. and you could dump it into, say, a 7950. You know, if you had an extra $200, you get you 7950, 670, and maybe even find a 680 on sale. So that's, you know, a way to go.
I see enemy movement, street level.
But at 1080p though, like, you really, I mean, you can say you need a 680 or 7970, but honestly, I don't think you do if you're just playing at. Man, I can't see this guy for crap. Oh, they're up there on the balcony. Good shot. But really, I mean, if you're only playing single monitor at 1080, you really don't need a 680 or a 7970. Or even SLI, unless you just absolutely want to max the game out at 130 frames per second. You know, just so you can be like, man, look at the eye candy. You'll get bragging rights. But then at the same time, somebody's going to be like, man, you dumb. Can't believe you done spent $550 on a video card, or you done spent $700 in SLI or whatever. And then once you start talking SLI with these big video cards like a 7950, 670, you know, 7970 or a 680, you're talking about upgrading to a, you know, 850 watt power supply. And I wouldn't recommend anything, you know, less than a Corsair Seasonic if you was going to be running that high-end hardware. You know, because I mean, if you're going to run stuff like that, spend that much money on video cards, there's no reason you should get like a Rose wheel or whatever. You need to get the best, you know, power supply you can. So, but thank you for watching the video. I hope it helped. And I'm gonna bring some multiplayer too, and let y'all know if I'm gonna sell or not. So peace out, guys.